In this video tutorial, we are going to be looking at the assignment in Block 4 called Finding Themes in College Urban Legends. Before you get started on this assignment, make sure that you've completed the assignment in Block 3 called College Urban Legends Google Doc Assignment. We're going to be using those stories in order to complete the assignment that we're doing today. So just make sure that you've completed that first. Once you got it done though, you are all good to get started. So I'm going to click on the assignment here. So this is one of those assignments where it's really important that you're doing everything in the correct order. So step one is going to ask you to watch this YouTube video. This video is going to introduce you to another college urban legend called Don't Turn on the Light. And we're going to be using that to explain some of the ideas that we're going to be going over today. So watch this video first. Once you've watched it, you are going to watch the tutorial video, which you're watching right now, and then you're going to be completing the assignment. So let's take a look at the assignment here. So you're going to click on the Finding Themes in College Urban Legends Essay Prep Shared Class document. I know, very long name, just go with it. And it's going to open up this assignment here. So the first thing you're going to see is that this is the answers to the assignment that we did back in Block 3. So if you have not completed it or you've completed some of it and you want to continue on, you're welcome to fill out your own form using the answers here. You won't be able to get credit for doing this assignment if you haven't already gotten credit for it, but you can still continue on with kind of what we're doing today. So this is all the answers for the urban legends here. If your answers are slightly different, as in you named the story something different, that's totally fine. The point is I want to make sure that you have all these stories in the correct order. If you need to correct your handout, that's fine. You can make those corrections. Okay, and then the other thing that I've added here are some different internet stories that were not in the two articles that we read. So you've already seen the Aren't You Glad I Didn't Turn on the Light? So you already know that story. There's also the Kidney Thief, the Halloween Massacre, and What Tire. If you're interested in learning what these stories are, I have links here, and it's just going to take you to a website where you can quickly read the story, know what it's about, and then if you do want to use it for this assignment, you're welcome to do so. Another thing that I want to mention before we get into it is anytime that you're referring to these stories, refer to the names that I came up with in this Google Doc so that everyone's working with the same name. So, for example, if you're going to refer to the story, Sorority Girls Are Embarrassed in Anatomy Class, you would just copy and paste this, and then everyone would know what story you're referring to. Okay, so let's talk about how we're actually going to use these stories, since that's kind of what we're doing here. So in the next page, we have our class themes. So what I've done here is I've come up with a list of themes that I saw commonly found in these urban legends. So when we're talking about themes, we're talking about universal experiences, fears, truths that exist that we can apply to multiple urban legends. So, for example, unprofessional or lazy professors. So we've read lots of stories where we have unprofessional or lazy professors. For my story, I added the student forgets to bring their ID, since I would argue that that professor is being a little extra strict and not really helping the student or giving them any resources to solve their problem and kind of forcing the student to have to basically cheat in order to not fail the class. So I would say that's an unprofessional professor. So I would put that here. Now, there are lots of other stories that we've read that would also fall into the unprofessional or lazy professor. We have the tape recorder teacher. Let's see, what's that one? We have the lecturing with tape recorder. That teacher would definitely be considered lazy or unprofessional. We have the professor tricks students into licking urine. I would also say that's really unprofessional. So any of these stories could fall into that theme. And that's really what we're going to be doing here, is our goal is to list as many stories as possible for each of these themes. So for example, our next theme is embarrassment. So any story where you see embarrassment as being a central theme, as something that is important to the story, you could list that under the embarrassment theme, and so on for all of these themes. So what you guys are going to do is each one of you is going to add 4 stories to the list of themes. So you can pick and choose which stories you want and which themes you want to do. So for mine, I chose to do the unprofessional lazy professor. I did the student forgets their ID. Then for murder, I added Aren't You Glad You Didn't Turn on the Light, which is the one I just had you watch. Then for Haunted Campus, I added the Daisy Williams story from the Zhao article. And then for the Superstitions or Good Luck, I added the Good Luck Owl story, also from the Zhao article. So what you're going to do is go over these themes, find four that you think you have some stories to add, and then you're just going to copy and paste the name of the story as well as the citation. So for the Major and Bray ones, you're just going to copy and paste the entire thing. So if I'm going to do the tandem story, I would just copy that, and then I would just paste it under whatever theme I thought it worked for. If I'm going to do the Zhao stories, rather than copy and pasting the entire thing, just do the last part. So if you want to do the zombie monkey, you would do the zombie monkey with a citation for Zhao. If I want to do the Loch Ness monster, I would do Champ the monster with a citation of Zhao. That's going to keep it as simple as possible, but also make it clear to your classmates what story you're referring to. As you're doing this, make sure that you aren't repeating any stories. So if I've already added student forgets their ID for the unprofessional or lazy professor, don't add the same story to this one. You can add a different story, or you can add this story to a different theme, but we don't want any repeats of the same story under the same theme. Hopefully that makes sense. Once you have your 4 stories added, then you are done with this assignment. Make sure that you do add your initials after the 4 stories that you've added, and that way I can go through and make sure that you get the credit for doing this assignment. Once the class has filled out this form together, we are going to come back to this in order to choose our topics for Essay 2. But for now, don't worry about that. Just do your part in filling out this document. So 4 stories under 4 of the different themes. And then I'll kind of explain what we're going to do next after that. So hopefully this was helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. I do have some spaces here if you want to add a theme that maybe I missed or that you think would be good to add to this, but you do not have to add a theme. You're fine to just add stories and not worry about adding any themes or anything like that. It's only if you found that there's a theme that is missing from this list that you want to add or that you think would be a good addition to this. Okay, so get started on this. Again, let me know if you have any questions. You are welcome to use any of the stories, internet stories here, and I look forward to seeing what you guys come up with. Okay, talk to you guys later.